What's up, y'all, and welcome into the Jack Vita Show. I'm your host, Jack Vita. No sports on the horizon today for the show. We're going to be discussing some reality TV with a couple of fantastic guests. If you guys want some sports, we just interviewed JP France, pitcher for the Houston Astros, so go and check that out. We'll have more sports content coming soon. This is releasing most likely Thursday, January 12th. The date of this new show, Traitors, that will be dropping on Peacock. So we have today joining us once again a great friend of the program who we actually missed December. We didn't do a podcast in December, but prior to that, we had done one every single month since August. So maybe we gotta do two this month.
There we go. We can do two. We'll make up for it. December was a busy month with the holidays and the kids. We'll make up for it.
Very busy time. Yeah, I was out in Phoenix for almost 3 weeks. Didn't tape any podcasts then, so you weren't the only one who was busy. But we say hello to Stephenie LaGrossa Kendrick, the three-time Survivor star, baseball wife. Welcome back, Stephenie.
Thank you for having me back, Jack. It's good to be here.
Great to have you here, and we're going to have a very fun conversation today. So last time we talked with your nephew, Philip, the Little League All-Star. Very fun episode. People really enjoyed it. So if people are interested, go back and check it out and subscribe to the Jack Vita Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever it is that you are getting your podcast. But there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out. But we spoke with Philip with you. You brought a great guest on, and I know you had someone you wanted to bring along for today's show.
So today I am bringing along a good friend of mine who actually was out to get me on the show Snake in the Grass. You might remember her. She is a very serious fashionista. I think she's even a designer now and has her own line of clothing coming out. And we went from a hate to a love relationship because we met up again on the Traitors, unbeknownst to me. I had no idea she was going to be there. And she's turned into a person that I absolutely adore and love and is brilliant and beautiful and also a mom. And so today I would like to introduce Rachel.
Rachel Reilly Villegas.
That was like the best introduction ever.
Oh, yeah, right.
Thank you. That whole introduction made my whole morning.
Oh, good. It's all true.
Yeah.
It's all true.
Thank you.
Oh my gosh, it's great to have you here, Rachel, once again. We spoke with you before, so we've had you on before, but never with Stephenie before. You guys competed on Snake in the Grass last summer. That was a fun show. It was fun seeing you guys on there together.
It was fun. I feel like Stephenie and I really bonded on that show too. And like, I know we were like against each other, but
right.
I felt like we became good friends on that show as well. And I just obviously love Stephenie, and I think she's such an amazing woman and mom. And I just think she's doing so many cool things in her life as well. And I'm like excited that this friendship has happened.
Yes, me too. Ditto.
Stephenie, did you feel like you were good friends when you were competing Snake in the Grass?
Like she had me pegged. Like she knew. I mean, she kept gone a little further in that swamp, she would have found it all. So I was like, Rachel, get out of the swamp. Enough's enough. Like, stop trying to. So no, she was out to get me, rightly so. It was a game. But actually, after we got done filming and we were wrapping, she and I really got to know each other on a more personal level. And then after the show, we kind of kept in touch just a little bit. And then to see her again on Traitors, it was like, are you kidding me? She looked right at me and was like, no matter what happened on Snake, that's in our past. Let's like align. We don't really know what they show, but I trusted her from like that second. And I think she trusted me. She also knows I'm really bad. She knows I'm a bad liar. So she knew. She knew. True. She was like, she's telling the truth, I think.
I know all Stephenie's tells, but I think also like just seeing a familiar face, it was so nice because so on Traitors they brought in Stephenie, Sari, and I, but then they also brought in Cody, which Cody's from Big Brother, and like I've hung out with him and his family, but like I never felt comfortable with Cody. Like I always felt like Cody is someone that I'm just like, I don't know, is he going to be my friend or is he going to be my foe, right? But like with Stephenie, when I saw her, I was like, I'm gonna pull her aside and tell her like whatever happened, let's not even worry about it, and like let's just move forward and be friends. Like forget about snake in the grass, and we'll like work on this show together.
She did. She's like, let's work together. I'm like, okay. Like that's all I needed, because I didn't need her thinking like I'm gonna try to get her out. I needed her to want to work with me. You know, and that's exactly what you said to me. And I was like, okay, I think she means that. That was like day one, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it was day one, because it was literally, we got to the, and they don't even show the train, but we got to the train stop. And then when we got to the castle, I think is when I pulled you aside and said that.
Yeah, right by the bathroom.
Yep.
I remember. I was like, oh, thank God.
I know.
If she's out to get me again, I can't take it. I'm like, I'm done. I'm leaving.
I know. I was so thankful too.
Yeah,
I
no,
did not
seriously.
pull Cody aside to talk to him.
Cody was acting so strange the whole time to me. I was like, oh, he's a snake if I ever knew one.
So, Rachel, we never got your take on Snake in the Grass, because we got Stephenie's like hour-long, everything that was going through her head. We talked about it after the show aired. So, were you thinking it was Stephenie like right from the very beginning, or were there some times where you thought maybe it was Janelle or someone else?
In the very beginning, I thought it was Janelle, because I thought Janelle was being weird, but that's because she thought I was being weird. And then I knew it was Stephenie when she came running out of the woods and had this grin on her face. I literally said in the episode, I'm like, she looks like someone that found a clue. I literally was thinking like in my head, okay, she's definitely the snake, because it's like, this is like the biggest tell. Like Stephenie's not good at lying. And running out of the forest, she was so proud of herself. And it was just like, I was like, I know, because you know why? Because I've had that feeling myself. And if it was me hiding the clue, I would have probably been doing the exact same thing. I would have ran out and like, so proud of myself. Like, oh my God, I just made amazing television. I'm like so great at this game.
I was actually really out of breath because I ran so far. Like I was like, and then I did trip and I was soaking wet. I was like, oh God, I don't even know what was just in that swamp. And then I was like laughing because I was like, I can't even believe this is all going on. And I'm trying to beat you guys coming back. And then there you are. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Red-handed.
I think that was my favorite part of the episode, because it goes from you just like doing the best snake work ever, and then it's like you
to getting caught.
So proud of yourself, like you're so emotional, like the emotional like levels in that part of the episode I think were so great, because it was just like so raw, so real. Like you did your thing, you were so proud of yourself. You got caught. You were so conflicted.
Got caught.
You knew you got caught.
I couldn't even think quick enough. I was like, why are you in the swamp? I tripped falling out, which I did. But I'm like, but why? Where were you running from? I was going to the bathroom. I mean, I was over by the bathroom. I mean, I was.
It was like, I don't think you could have said anything to like make up for it. I don't know.
Oh, no.
I don't know if you could have said anything.
So that from that point, it's over. You know it's her.
Yeah.
Suri knew it was me from the beginning, so I was screwed with her. She's like brutal to be on a reality show with and try to hide anything from. Yeah. But then Rachel knew, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like you knew.
Oh, yeah. That was a big tell. Like I didn't know when you were doing the box challenge, I thought you did a great job. So I thought there was no way you were.
And that was hard.
Yeah, I ruled you out because I thought, okay, well, she's literally climbing up the box, dropping the box. Like, why would she drop the box if she was the snake? If she was, like, all she has to do is like not drop the box.
Right.
And me and Janelle were so bad at getting that rope over, and
yeah, that helped me. Thank God, or I was like screwed because I couldn't have gone any slower up that rope. Like I was like, this is really hard.
The second clue, I feel like you could have talked your way out of that second clue.
The second one.
The one that she destroyed?
The second clue with the box, because it was like something about Survivor. It was very much like you could have.
Was that the fishing one?
Yeah. No.
The cheerleader fishing one?
The cheerleader. It
was first. It was the second one where it was like something about the hero or the big brother.
Yeah, the one she destroyed. Yeah.
Not that one. The box one that we didn't get.
What was the box one? Oh, I don't remember what it was.
No, she got one, and she said, she's like, yeah, it said it was that she was a hero and she has big brothers, and she's like, I had to destroy it.
I would have been screwed. So like that was really about me.
Out of that one.
I don't know. I don't think so. Except for 3 did say she had brothers, and she was on the hero's tribe too.
Well, and we could have also thought, well, big brother, because you have big brothers, which points to big brother, or being on the hero tribe points to being on Survivor hero tribe. So, and I think like that could literally have both of you could have talked your way out of it. But then I think the temple one, the one that we won, was just so obvious. It was like, okay, obviously, like I think they could have written it a little bit harder, because I think like that one was so obvious because you had
so obvious
that you went to temple, and I think like at that point we had already been on to you, but I assume that they probably write the clues like before the episode, right? So
yeah, I mean I would hope so, but they didn't even, that clue was edited because it said about fell in love over a mound of pasta on a plate. And you guys were like, your husband was a pitching mound and
so obvious
baseball plate. Yeah. And they didn't put that in. And I'm like, I was like, no. Oh, and went to temple. I'm like, well, who else has been to a temple here? Have you guys never been to a temple on Amazing Race? I'm sure you've been to a temple. I mean, I was grasping.
Yeah, that was great. That was like my favorite. I think it was when you're trying so hard to like get the blame on someone else, it was so bad.
and it's like impossible. No, so wait, they're gonna do it again. Season 2, Snake in the Grass. Good. Well, that's good.
I know. I think it's such a fun show. I would like to see more. I would like to see more like reality stars on it, like how they had like us and then like the Survivor guys. Like,
yeah.
I feel like it's a fun show. And if you already know the people, it doesn't matter because it's an hour episode.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter about like know them.
I'd agree because like it's hard because to flesh out characters with a game in an hour of people you don't know. Whereas like if you're gonna do something like that where you have all new people, then it should be a multi-episode series or show.
Yeah, and I think it's fun also to like get people that kind of know each other because they can kind of like mess with each other a little bit.
Yeah. I don't know if that's fun for Stephenie.
No, it's terrible for me.
Snake, yeah, but they can make the clues harder. You know, there's a lot of things they could do because it was fun. Like the Survivor guys kind of knew each other, and the thing about the bar, like that was so obvious, but Malcolm was able to talk his way out of the bar.
Yeah,
and so I think that he was able to confuse them enough. And like, I wonder if they were just testing the waters to see like what episodes were successful, so they can kind of like go for that, like next season for casting through that way. But I think it would be fun to see people that had played different games together, kind of like playing this together.
Yeah. Albert from Survivor South Pacific, he finished 3rd behind Sophie and Coach. He had told me like, I want to be on this show 100% because he plays poker, so it's perfect for him. Yeah. So there'll definitely be people who want to do it.
Tell me, a ton of Amazing Racers are like, how do I get on that show? How do I get on the show? I'm like, I don't know.
I know, right?
Like, I don't know what they're doing with it. But yeah, I think it'll be fun to see people from other shows competing again. Yeah. And they have so many good personalities from like the NBC world or from like every other like show. Like I cast for Temptation Island, and like putting a bunch of dudes and a bunch of the girls, the singles on for an episode of Snake in the Grass from Temptation Island, I think would be hilarious. I mean, because they're such big personalities anyways, and like putting them on and that kind of show would be so fun to watch.
That would be good.
Yeah.
That'd be funny. So I'm curious, after you guys there was a little bit of time, so you guys did Snake in the Grass in December of 2021, so that was now 2 years ago. I mean, a little over a year ago, but 2 calendar years ago. Then you have like a few months in between that and Traitors. So how much had you guys talked and like become, because you mentioned this a little bit, like you guys became much closer going on Traitors and you had some familiarity, but like where was your relationship in the time after competing on Snake in the Grass and then going on Traitors? You guys talk on the phone a little bit, FaceTime, or just message each other a little bit?
Yeah, we had like a group chat, and like we had gone out to dinner after the Snake in the Grass. Like after the show was over, we all went out to dinner, and I felt like that was when we like really got to bond. And then
because didn't you guys have like a confrontation on Snake that didn't make the air?
We did, but I would say it was not. It was like more of like a heated in the moment kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how your stuff normally is, Rachel, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's like in the middle of a challenge,
yeah,
and like they're rushing to try to finish under the time thing, and I'm trying to blow it, obviously, and she's like, "Shut up, Stephenie!" Like, you know. And I'm like, "Just give me the key. I'm a better swimmer than you." Like, she's like, "No."
It was like, it's not gonna happen, or what? I don't even remember what I said, but it was basically like, I think I called Stephenie a bee. Just like, I think I was like,
which happens to me on the Traitors too. Kate calls me that at the table too. Do you remember?
I know, it's true.
I'm like, this is 2 reality shows in a row. I just got called the same thing. Where's that all air?
Yeah, but no, I think like for me, this I felt like we really bonded after the show was over, and then and I think I had apologized to you, so I feel like I apologized.
Oh, you did. And then I remember getting home, and then we were still like on a group text.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit, and then, you know, I think the holidays came around or whatever, and then we got busy again, and then we text every now and again, and then I didn't talk to you for like a really long time, or Saray, or Janelle. And then I got the call very late for the Traitors. I was an alternate.
Oh.
So somebody was my spot, and then at the last minute couldn't go. So they called me, like, and I'll never forget. It was like April. It was like the end of April, and they're like, "You need to be here May 1st." And I was like, "I can't. That's my son's first Holy Communion." And immediately said no. And then they said, "You can come that night, but filming starts like the 2nd." Like, I was exhausted. The day we started filming, I had like 2 hours sleep, and because I had just gotten there.
Yeah.
And so I hadn't talked. When I saw her, I was like, "Oh my gosh." And Saray, I was like, "No way." And then you said, and she said Janelle got the call too, and Janelle couldn't do it. That would have been really bizarre if all 4 of us were on.
That would have been so fun, though. I feel like
it would have been.
Well, I think they must have like really enjoyed our Snake in the Grass episodes. That's probably why they asked us.
I wonder if Steph was the alternate for Janelle.
No, because Janelle turned it
down. Janelle said no all along.
She said like the whole time Janelle was like she couldn't do it because she had a cheerleading conference or something. So
yeah, thing with her daughter. And then they brought in that alternate, which was a girl for a guy that got COVID. So I wonder if I was an alternate for a guy. You know what I mean?
I would assume it would have been for like a celebrity, because
celebrity guy.
Oh, baby.
You know,
Boston Rob, or
glad that you ended up on the show, because it would have been not as much fun without you.
Oh, well, thank you. Rob did get a call and couldn't do it because he had two other commitments that like contractually he wasn't allowed.
He told me
so he did get a call.
He got the call before we got the call, though.
Yeah, probably.
Really early. Because he had reached out to Janelle. Him and Janelle are really close. So he had reached out to Janelle.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and Janelle had not gotten that call at that point either. And then I had texted with him because of that, through that. But he also got the call for Snake in the Grass, and he couldn't do that.
Yeah, and probably the challenge, CBS, the Challenge USA. Weren't they shooting that right around that time too?
No, but he didn't do challenge. He
didn't do it, but he probably got called for it, I would think.
He probably got called for challenge. He was filming. Rob has his own show.
Right.
That
Beantown something, right?
Yeah. No,
and then he had a celebrity renovation show too.
Yeah.
He had a couple shows.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he cooks and he gambles and he does all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I'm like, we saw him not too long ago. We just did the charity event together, Rachel and I, and Rob was there. And I'm like, I mean, how much can one person do? He's like, I know. And he's got 4 kids, so he's busy.
Yeah. He's really busy.
But Amber's amazing because he does all the TV stuff now and she doesn't really do anything. So she stays with the kids and stuff. So it works, you know?
Unless they're going on Winners at War.
We'll see. We'll see. Again.
Well, they did already.
Yeah. I know. Again. So he personally told me he's probably will never do Survivor again, which I do believe, but I don't know. You never know. It's Rob.
So that's cool. So you guys saw each other then, and Rachel, my question for you is, since you had seen Stephenie live before, you were, at this time, you're like, okay, she's definitely not a traitor because she'd be acting this way if she was a traitor.
Yes and no. I mean, it still crossed my mind a little bit because I was like thinking in my head, you know, is she so good that she could like pull it off? But like, of course, I felt pretty confident you were not a traitor, Stephenie, because
right.
I felt like we had just done Snake in the Grass and you were so bad at lying. So like, I felt pretty confident. I was like, there's no way. But then again, like I said, you never know because you're just like, is she just really good at playing me? And, you know, it's just like one of those things. But I mean, it turned out, of course, like, you know, Steph and I ended up getting to like bond even more because of our mutual not being traitors. And
yes.
And Rachel, I'm also curious, Stephenie, obviously big time Survivor legend, you're a Big Brother legend, and Stephenie had no idea who you were when you did Snake in the Grass. Did you know who she was? Had you watched her on Survivor at all?
Oh yeah, of course. She's like the sole survivor. Like, I think you're the only person that's ever done that, right, Stephenie?
Yeah, she is.
Like,
well, until they had Exile Island, now they've Exile Island.
Right. But you're like literally like Survivor, like story, like a legend, right? So, I mean, of course I know who Stephenie was. And it was funny because when I first saw Stephenie, like, I will say you look so different. So I didn't recognize you at first on Snake in the Grass until Suri, and you introduced yourself, and Suri was like, it's Stephenie, and I was like, oh my god, it's Stephenie, oh my god. And then I freaked out because I was like, I can't believe Stephenie.
Well, and also she went off the grid. She was in hiding like under a bunker for like 15 years, so
that's true. But yeah, no, of course I definitely know who Stephenie was. You didn't know me and Janelle, right?
No, I don't. I've never really watched Big Brother. Yeah. And in fact, Janelle was walking in front of me with like her blue windbreaker jacket. It's like off her shoulder and her hair's blowing. She has all this makeup on. And I'm like, who the heck is this girl? Like, what is she? Like some Miss America, like beauty pageant queen with all this makeup. And then you come up and you got the makeup on. And I'm like, okay, who are these two? They must have been on. Who knows? I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then I see Zuri and I'm like, oh, thank God, somebody else like me. And then I was like, oh no, thank God. No, Zuri's here. Oh, and I was like, oh no, I'm screwed.
No.
Oh.
I'm in the hotel. I kept thinking, I saw Malcolm and I kept thinking we were going to be surprised by the guys, but thank God we didn't ever have to play with
I was looking for people. I was like, come on, let me just figure out who's here. I thought there was going to be a whole cast of people. I didn't know it was only going to be 4 of us.
Malcolm, so my hotel room faced the pool, and Malcolm went on a walk one day with one of the like PAs or whatever, and was like walking maybe to the beach or to the other pool, like just right in front of my hotel room, and I was like, that's Malcolm.
They were probably telling him he was going to be the snake.
Maybe. I mean, but they pulled us. No, I guess my snake meeting. Oh no, Stephenie's snake meeting was like in the broom closet. My snake meeting was like at the top of the restaurant. But
so was mine. So that was the initial meeting when they get to know you and they drill you right for an hour or 2 with questions. Yeah. Then the night before we started filming at like 8:00, they're like, you're coming with me. And they drove me blindfolded to an hour away, a hotel by the airport. And I was in some broom closet and I meet up with these men. And then they're like, okay, we're going to tell you the whole game. I'm like, okay, why? And they're like, because it's called Snake in the Grass, and we want you to be the snake. So not everybody gets the snake talk, only the snake. I tried to get out of it. It didn't work.
That makes sense. Okay.
Then when we got back, they took my phone. Like, they were like, okay, we need your phone. We need everything. Yeah. We'll wake you in the morning, but your call time is this, and it's game on. And I was like, I can't even call Kyle. I can't call anybody. Who am I going to talk? I'm like in the mirror. I'm like, I'm not the snake. I'm not the snake. Like trying to like act. I'm like, this is awful. I did not sleep. Oh, what a nightmare.
Oh, but you know, they didn't tell us anything about the game, Jack. And obviously,
only me.
Like,
So then when we got to the beach, I had to act surprised. So they told us the game.
I had no idea. Like literally until I got to the beach, I didn't know what we were doing. So it wasn't like they had like, when we did like our questions with the producers, they didn't tell us what game we were playing.
No. It was a scavenger hunt, we thought.
Right, literally. Yeah.
So I'm thinking like Amazing Race something. We're gonna have to, I don't know. Treasure hunt. That's I'm like, there's no treasure.
They asked us, they told us it was a treasure hunt. And I went and I took these compassing lessons to learn how to do a stupid compass because I thought we were gonna have to use a compass or like a map to find a treasure in the middle of Costa Rica. Like I really in my head thought they were just gonna drop us off. And I mean, I've said this so many times, but like I like literally thought that in my head. Like that's what I Brendan and I had a whole plan for it. That they were just dropping us off in the middle of like the jungle in Costa Rica, and we were gonna have to find the treasure and find our way out. Which maybe that's another good show.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the next show you guys do. Okay, give us a little bit of what we can expect here with the Traitors.
Murder, sabotage, treachery. No, I don't know. I think it's just a fun show that people are gonna really love because I feel like that I think it's going to be like you get sucked into the episodes and you want to figure out like what's coming next. So like you do already know who the Traitors are, but you don't know how the game is played out. So it's more like just kind of getting through figuring out how crazy it is and like with the personalities and everything Steph and I have talked about for an hour. That's like, you know, going to be the fun part of watching the show.
Yes.
The hardest thing I think about Traitors from any other show I've done was that with Traitors, there was no way for us to save ourselves or to ever feel comfortable or to, you know, and since this is coming out after anyone can go binge the show, you kind of already know how it is, but like I won't do any spoilers in case you aren't watching, but even in the first episode, they announced who the Traitors are. So I do think that was the hardest part was that like, you can't really save yourself. So you never feel comfortable. You never feel like, you know, you feel like you have to consistently be playing this game. And it's not like on Survivor, you can win immunity or you can be in a tribe that doesn't even go to council.
Right.
Stephenie does not know what that's like.
Right.
No, we lost every challenge.
But no, you played a few times. But
a couple times.
But on Big Brother, you can get.
I won like once.
Right.
Out of like 50.
Right.
But no, you're so right. And Rachel, they never told us there were 3 Traitors.
No.
Like, don't you remember us being like, well, there could be up to 5.
Yeah.
Well, they make it look like that they told us there was 3 on the show. Okay, yeah, so that's another thing. Like that comes into play. Like we're kind of like, okay, 3. So do we think it's 2 guys and a girl? Do we think it's 2 girls and a guy? If we knew there was 3, but we were like, oh, if there's 5, there could be like a civilian, 2 celebrity girls, you know, a celebrity guy, and a fit. Like then we're like, maybe there's 4 because you can get rid of 1 and then you're allowed to recruit. So there must be 4. Do you remember? I mean, it is such a mind crazy game. Like you don't even know. Like the whole and. Once you think you have it figured out, you're like, oh, no. I bet it's this. And then you change your whole thought process.
And like we went through like every option thinking like.
We did.
We went through thinking like every single thing you could possibly think about the Traitors. Steph and I went through like discussing.
We did.
And I think also because I kept saying, no, they're going to give us clues. They're going to give us clues. And like, no, they never gave us clues. But I was like, how do you play this game if there's no clues, there's no, you know, you can't save yourself. There's no way to like really figure out who a traitor is because they didn't have they had no reason to like.
There's no incentive for them to tank the challenges like on Snake.
Right. And how about the Traitors have such a leg up because they get an extra vote every night. Yep. So they really have an advantage.
And if they think someone's onto them, then they could murder someone. So it was like you had to play like the traitor mind game too, because you had to think like, well, I don't want the traitors to think I'm on to them because if the traitors think I'm on to them, they're going to murder me. or if the Traitors think that like I'm too like obviously like I'm a faithful. If it's too obvious, I'm a faithful. They'll know because it's like why would you keep someone in the game?
Yeah.
Like no, they're not a faithful. They're not a traitor. Like Ryan Lochte. Like we were all like Ryan Lochte's not a traitor. So,
right.
Like,
he's obviously faithful.
Yeah.
Right.
Why would you keep Ryan Lochte in the game?
Right.
But like it, you know, and I kept thinking like, if I was a traitor, this is what I would do. If I was a traitor, this is what I would do. But then like, you don't know.
And then because you were saying that, people were like, she's a traitor. But then it was almost a good thing people thought you were a traitor because then you act as a shield for the traitor. So they're like, no, we're going to keep Rachel because other people think she's a traitor. So as long as you didn't get banished, you were good because they weren't murdering you that night.
Yeah.
But as soon as we started figuring out really who the traitors were.
Get onto them as soon as you get too close to like getting onto it, they start to like, okay, we're gonna, you know, get rid of this person.
Now you're getting murdered. Yeah.
Getting murdered. So it was a really hard game. I mean, I will say like
it was.
I am usually one of those people that is like so into the game and like so into like winning and like disappointed if I don't but like with this game I was like I did everything I could
do. Yeah. No, seriously.
Yeah.
And the challenges, they're not like Survivor hard, really, but there's a couple that do get pretty like tough. Yeah, and Rachel pulls through in a lot of these challenges.
So hard, but only because of you, Stephenie, and that should have been a giveaway too. And that was the thing because like,
and we were like working it,
and they were like giveaways, like. Christian didn't want to put the like move the barrel up the hill, and Cody like didn't care if the barrel went up the hill, and there was times when I think we could have been like, okay, this is kind of like we should be on to them, but well they do show in the first few episodes the chaos that Brandy and Kate are bringing to the show. So like imagine trying to play a strategic game with all the chaos around you from these people that are like just going crazy on the show.
The Traitors loved it. The Traitors were like, "This is great. This is pretty great." I mean, I remember sitting at the round table being like, "Okay, the Traitors think we are the biggest bunch of friggin' idiots like ever. Like, you guys must be loving this, right? You loving this?" And everyone's like straight face. Of course, the Traitors aren't gonna be like, "Yeah, we love this."
Yeah. Well, I think the problem is that like imagine coming into this game that like it was a mind mess like F for us, right? It's like a game for us to play, and we've done this for 10 years. Like imagine coming in, seeing these huge personalities, seeing these people you're fans of, seeing like, oh my gosh, you know, this is Rachel from Big Brother and Stephenie from Survivor, and oh my God, that's Brandi Glanville and like Ryan Lochte, like. And then on top of it, you're trying to play this game and you're like wanting to get to know them because you think they're cool or you're whatever, you know, like.
Yeah.
And then you're trying to play this like strategic game and these people had all seen our shows and they'd all seen how we play. So they're trying to figure out our tells. Like, is Rachel lying to me? This is how she lies. Like,
yes.
Like for them, it's just they had no.
They just sat quietly and watched, actually. Not all of them. Christian never shut up. My favorite part is like Kyle Cook is trying to like talk to me in the library. Kyle and I were always together. Like we drove together. They just paired us weirdly production together. I never met Kyle. I don't know anything about Kyle. And I was just looking at him. He made me laugh. Like I loved him. He cracked me up. And I'm married to a Kyle. So I was like, oh, a Kyle, you know, like, but it was like a brotherly like love. I was like, yeah, I have a Kyle here. So anyway, he gets me alone finally. And Christian comes in. And this is probably episode like 5. Yeah. And Christian comes in and is like, hey guys, can I come in? And he goes, you know, Kyle Cook goes, you know what? No. Like, can you just give me a minute? I'm with her all the time, but I'm never alone with her. And you always seem to be around. Can I just have a minute? Like, I was like this. He did not just say that to Christian. Oh my God. Because Christian would be in our conversation. Christian would be in Rachel and Siri's conversation. Christian would be over here. Like, Christian was like a ping pong machine.
That should have been like, but
and I was like, Kyle and I were like, I think Christian's a traitor, like from very early on. But because he made a strategic vote, and that's another thing, like traitors could vote off traitors eventually. And then you're like, oh, maybe he's not. Do you know what I mean? So you'll see that's smart play. But
you guys said no spoilers, and here we go.
Well, I didn't say who, did I? Again, I suck at lying. Lied. But it, I was on to Christian because he was like obvious. I feel like, don't you?
Well, looking back, he was obvious. But then when I was playing with him, I thought he was paranoid and like goofy and out of his element, and I thought he was like me because I would be excluded a lot from rooms too. Like I would walk in and people would just like stop talking, and then I was like, okay. And so
it was so awkward. That's so awkward.
And it was so hard to get.
All of a sudden, you're not like that's brutal. You're like the outcast, you know? It's like, nope, you're not part of the clique. Get out. I'm like, okay.
Literally. And there was
bye.
There was cliques. And
like,
there were so many. And the biggest cliques, the Bravo people, were the ones that were like the leaders of the clique.
I feel like Kyle wasn't in with them. Like he was.
No, I know he wasn't for a little bit in the beginning, but then.
But he was more with Ryan, right? Like he was with the guys.
And there was definitely times when you would go into a room and like people would stop talking or people would just get up.
Oh, that was the worst. And I'm like, are you serious?
And you would just be like, should I leave? Like,
wait, who the heck was Ari in with? Because I thought he was in with me.
I don't know who he was in with because like I think he was in with everyone, and
that's what I think he was too.
I felt like Ari was always my friend, and I always felt like I would talk to Ari a lot. But then I think maybe Ari was also like really close with Andy during the show. And so I think that they like really bonded.
But people were just breaking down like emotionally because we just really couldn't like figure it out. Like it was hard to. I kept a note. Did you keep like I kept like a notebook?
I had a notebook and I would write down things that I thought were weird about people, and I looked through my notes, and I always, every night I'd look through my notes, and a lot of my notes would say like, Sari is a suspect. Like
I know, me too.
I would put like, but I'd rather have her as like a person.
I'm not saying a word.
As a person to like stick up for me. That's day
on the inside.
Yep. And then like I kept thinking I never thought it was Christian because I kept telling myself like I didn't think Christian was like motivated by being a traitor. And so I was so wrong about Christian. Like I don't know what I was thinking, but I swear I thought for 1,000% I thought it was Kate. Like I did too for a long time. Notes about I would write notes about Kate every night.
No, me too.
Yeah.
I had it as Kate, Christian, and Cody from the beginning. Like I was like, definitely.
So Rachel, how can people follow you? You want to plug your social media or anything else?
Oh yeah, at Rachel E. Reilly on Instagram. At Rachel E. Reilly Villegas on Instagram. At Rachel Villegas Casting on TikTok. I feel like I need to keep it like
consistent.
Consistency. And then at Rachel E. Reilly on Twitter, and Rachel's Reality on YouTube, and on the web page I have. Yeah. So I need to keep it. I do need to keep it consistent. I've been bad.
My name's too long to keep it consistent. Like one allows it and then one doesn't. So I have like different names too. I'm like, this is like.
Steph,
if you go on my Instagram, you can see my link tree, and there's all my things.
There you go.
Oh, that's got mine is on there too. And they always steal my name. I'm like, maybe there's a lot of Rachel Reillys in the world, but like I will put my middle initial in. I'll be like Rachel E. Reilly.
Yeah.
And then, like what? Like I think my Instagram is Rachel E. Reilly Villegas because like that's the only name that I could do that someone hadn't stole and then put my face on. So I'm like, wait, that's me, but it's not. It's So.
Oh, that's annoying. It's too long for Twitter too. Twitter won't let you have it that long.
Somebody bought my daughter's domain for her name when she was born and tried to sell it back to me for like $2,000, and I was like,
stop.
No, I swear
psychos.
They literally bought her domain when she was born, and I like announced her name, and they were like, oh, well, when you announce Adler's name, you just have to set that up before, and I was like, okay.
Oh my gosh, that's ridiculous.
It's so frustrating.
That is.
Well, Rachel, thank you so much for your time today. We want to let you run. Steph, we can finish up if you want.
Okay. All right, bye, guys. Thank you.
Bye, Rach.
Always a joy talking with you.
Bye.
So, Steph, is there anything you want to add in terms of with the Traitors that people should be on the lookout for, or anything else that we didn't get to today?
I mean, I think it's going to be a really good show. I think, like any first season of anything, it will evolve and get better if they have a second season. I think there were 20 people. That's a lot of people to squeeze into 10 episodes. So I think there's going to be a lot heavy editing. And I just hope my edit is really good. Because I really actually did play a very strategic game. Even the people behind the scenes were like, you were pretty on it. So I hope that's portrayed. And if it's not, then just know I did play a good game. And it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was really stressful. It was much more stressful than Survivor to me. Survivor was easier, actually, because it's more physical. This was so mental. And then Snake was obviously really stressful for me because I was Snake. So I was having to try to lie, and Suri knew me the whole time. But that was so quick. It was only 3 days. Like this, if you're on it for the long haul, I mean, you're gone for like a month. So it's a lot, and it's an eclectic crew, if you will.
Well, be on the lookout for The Traitors. It airs now, January 12th on Peacock. Sign up for Peacock in order to watch it there. You can watch Stephenie, Rachel, Cody Calafiore, Suri. So some Big Brother and Survivor greats, if you will, some winners. Hopefully Stephenie can finally get her W this time. She's been so close so many times. She needs to get that win.
That's right. 5th time's the charm. We'll see.
5th time's the charm. And you can follow Stephenie on Twitter at Steph LaGrossa 38, right?
That's right. Or Instagram, Steph_LaGrossa_ Kendrick. And then I have a link tree on my Instagram. So anything that I'm doing or any other platforms I'm on is all under my link tree.
All right. Well, it'll be fun to everyone follow along, and I'm sure we'll be talking with Steph again sometime very soon.
Yes. Thank you.
Thanks, Steph. All right, y'all, that concludes our conversation today with Stephenie LaGrossa Kendrick and Rachel Reilly. Check them out on the new show, Traitors, dropping January 12th on Peacock. You guys are going to want to check that show out. I'm good friends with both of them. I always enjoy talking with them, and hopefully you guys enjoyed our conversation today. You guys can subscribe to the Jack Vita Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube for more content. We're going to have a lot of fun stuff coming out sometime very soon. Until our next episode, I'm Jack Vita, bringing the dancing lobsters.